Que Shira, wherever. I was people. What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with another podcast. I hope everyone's fit and well. Everyone's excited. I'm happy. Glenn's excited. I don't know how David's feeling because he's turned up late. That's why we're late, people. But
Sorry, guys.
no, it's not good enough. That's a fine. A week's wages on that. You won't come to Forest game again.
Fair enough.
But everyone's excited. People, Nottingham Forest are in the semi-final of the FA Cup, and it is at Wembley. People in the chat, how happy are you? I'm still. It's not sunk in yet. It hasn't sunk in yet that we are going to Wembley yet again. If you are rewatching this and if anything that you agree, disagree, the panel get involved as well. But yeah, let's get the panel in. Let's get the man himself, Glenn. How you doing, Glenn?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm glad for a little nap this afternoon. I'm not sure how many of everybody else managed to travel over this morning back from Brighton. It was much easier, I bet, than on the way back yesterday. But I know Dave was in the passenger seat with me today, and it was a 2.5 hour journey that should have been like 90 minutes. But yeah, still buzzing from yesterday, and looking forward to the recap for the next hour or so.
That's it. The recap, people. I think I'm still buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. I can't believe. I was excited to see not just David, but his missus and his friend, because they said to me, "How do you put up with this guy?" I don't know myself. I don't know how to put up with this guy, and he's here now. How are you, David? Did you enjoy it in a way? And
Well, I was kind of in the fancy posh kind of area on a halfway end of town. So weren't really with the Brighton fans, but weren't really with any fans, but they were a little bit pro Brighton, let's just say the least. I was a little more subdued, but a tear did stream down my face. I don't cry in front of my girlfriend too often, but I did yesterday as the great Ryan Yates. What a moment. Just the thought process. And look, I know I felt it. You can't say that you didn't feel a little bit of, oh shit, we've got Ryan Yates kicking a penalty to put us through. Or were you confident the whole time, Ben?
No. Right. We'll get into that. But look, I'll keep it real. I've never seen Yates score a penalty. All he does is he just talks nonsense to the opponent's players, gets a yellow card, a deserved yellow card like he did yesterday, and he got a goal. But people chat, before we do have a little talk about yesterday's game, me and David, as people know, me and David had a little debate start of the season that Ryan Yates will score 5 goals this season. So people in the chat, yes or no? David said to me, if Yates scores 5 goals, he'll get me a jersey. Can you class Ryan Yates' penalty that I sent us to Wembley to get me a nice Forest top? Yes or no, people? Because he thinks I don't. I think he does. Because Ryan Yates, the number one hater,
I'm not the number one hater.
You are. You and no, I can throw Gary Marriott under the bus as well. Gary Marriott is a Ryan Yates hater as well. People in the chat, do you think I should deserve?
Well, let's see what the comments say. Certainly, if Yates can score 5 goals, you'll have earned the jersey. I will just say, Ben, I thought Yates had a particularly good game yesterday on a few levels. One is sitting on the halfway line and at a match, you've certainly got an appreciation for the work that he does off the ball. But what he really did well yesterday is he's not the most creative player. We know that. We know that he doesn't progress the ball forward as much as some of the others. But he did create and move a lot off the ball and create situations where Elliot Anderson and Gibbs White and some others could find some other players. Sure enough, there were a couple of moments. There was one down the right-hand side in the second half where Yates had it, and you're like, oh, goodness, anyone but Yates. But otherwise, boy, what a captain's performance. And look, let's face it, that is a pressure penalty to have to kick in at that end.
I was nervous.
Goodness me, weren't we all nervous? And to be honest, look, what do you want your captain to do? You want your captain to take the team on their shoulders and lead from the front, but also take the risk. There's a massive risk for Ryan Yates to choose not to kick a penalty in that situation. If he misses or if he chooses not to, we were all sitting in the gantry saying, well, where was Anthony Elanga, Glenn? Why did Anthony Elanga kick one? Wouldn't you have had him kicking ahead of Ryan Yates? Was Elanga knackered? Is he done back himself? Is he not a confident player. Yates, and to be honest, I didn't think Milinkovic was going to miss either. What was your take on Anthony Elanga, Glenn?
My take was that I was expecting him to take perhaps 6 or 7, and that they would need to perhaps go beyond the 5. The comment the point you made about Ryan Yates and his penalty, he looked super confident walking up. I was right behind the goal on the away end underneath the TV studio, and I could see pretty well right over everybody else. I was on the Z row and the AA was right behind me, so I was as high up as you could see, so I had a really good view. He looked super confident walking up. The only thing I saw is in the build up to those penalties, the boost of confidence that our players got from Sells saving 2, and the way that we've performed, with the exception of Newcastle in the Carabao Cup at penalty stages in cup fixtures, really put me in a position where, yes, okay, Ryan must be nervous, and after the match he was saying how nervous he was because of the magnitude of the penalty that he was taking. But for me, I think the pressure was on their keeper more than Ryan Yates. Their keeper was under a huge amount of pressure being at his end, and he had to save that penalty for them to stay in the penalty shootout. And Ryan said he didn't really hit it as hard as or as well as he wanted. It wasn't quite struck as well right in the corner. Keeper got a hand to it, but it went in. Doesn't really matter. Celebration. But the point is, yes, I see that Yates is not necessarily the person that you'd expect at number 5, but it's a true measure of the man as a clubman that he is and the captain that he is, that he takes that penalty at that point. And no doubt before the penalty was taken, he would have had to have stepped up and gone, right, I'll take 1, I'll take 5. And that's just another measure of the man that he is. So I'm delighted that he scored. Elanga may well have been after him had they kept in the shootout and they kept beyond 5, and that key point where it goes to sudden death almost, doesn't it? But yeah, true measure of the man, scored, and everything after that doesn't really matter, does it? Because we're going to Wembley. Come on.
But the parts that are after that, Glenn, was so good. Like, it's the fact that it was Yates that scored. I think, look, it was going to be a big moment anyway, Ben.
It was. But
it was like, no matter, like, it could have been Harry Arter that had scored the penalty for, like, could have been anyone, right? But the fact that it was Yates, I think it made it just that little bit extra.
Yes.
And then look, so much for being knackered. God, I hope they've still got the tracker on his shirt for how fast he was running, because I'd love to see how fast he ran from one end to the other. I reckon that's the fastest he's ever run.
No, you know what he did? I don't know if you remember, David, but you know when Forest played, I think Glenn might remember, when Forest played Spurs, you remember Big Norm, Glenn? He ran.
We were talking
about that today.
Yeah, he did exactly the same, man. I thought, yes, Yates. And like I said, David, because it was Ryan Yates, and that moment, I thought, oh, yes. I loved it. Of all people, Ryan Yates. But let me just go through the comments. The comments are flying in. There's Thomas. We're going to Wembley, get in Ryan Yates, one of our own. Let's beat City again. People, we've got Man City. I prefer Man City. I said I prefer City to Bournemouth, but I'm happy with that. Chris, from all the way from America, even Dawn, Case Shara, whatever we will be, we're going to beat City and go to Wembley. Yes, we are. Razdaz, hope you're all, my friend. Evening, Forest 1 City. Now everyone's getting score predictions in now. Bloody hell. A bit early than that, Razdaz, but I'll see you Tuesday before the game. Thomas again, blah, blah, blah. I watched Forest last night. I couldn't believe bloody you, Rez. Everyone can't. What is it? Kel, how you doing, Kel? Hope you're well. Right, I'll see you before the game as well. Who's late? This guy.
Sorry.
This guy was late. Kieran, thank you for the member. 39 months. Absolutely legend, Kieran. Thank you for that. Katie, how you doing as well? She's the one that spotted me on William Hill. So shout out to Katie and Jackson and her husband as well. She's the one that firstly saw me on there. So people, if you see me on William Hill, don't message me. I've had about tens and dozens and loads of them. Kieran, thank you for the £4.99. That's going straight to Europe, that is. Oh, no, yeah. Europe or Wembley? Europe. Oh, yes. But thank you for the £4.99 as well. Did Ben do the click chain? What? Click chain? What's that? Give me Ben. Did Ben do the click change? I don't know. Click chain? What's that? Ben, are you still hungover for? No, I'm still going crazy. Come on, you Reds. See it again. Come on, you Reds. Come on, you Reds, my friend. Martin, that penalty won't count as it's a total. Hey, Martin,
Yeah,
come
Martin,
on,
that's
man.
right, Martin.
Come on. That's
right,
shocking
baby.
behaviour. He'll be after you from that comment. Where did Welsh Steve say it as well? No. Has he said it as well? That's shocking behaviour. I can't see it. Is there a comment there?
No, who knows?
Wait. There it is. I think goals should be only counted normal time. Sorry, Dore, you're not coming to channel ever again. Never again. Jem, my friend. Good evening, lads. If any of these lads were watching on telly, tell them to take a lucky scarf to Wembley. I know. If you're not seeing it, Taiwo Wanley and Morgan Gibbs White was wearing Ellie's scarf. So it's Ellie's scarf. So she wants it back. So Taiwo and Gibbs White politely, Molly wants the scarf back. So yeah.
Hold on, whose scarf is it?
Ellie's.
Surely that's a donation at this point.
No, you can't donate them kind of stuff, man. That's power and joy now. No. Hello, gents and David. Love the work.
Stefo, legend. How are you? Good to see you, buddy.
Who is it?
He's Forest, friend of Forest Australian, one of the mighty Australian Forest fans. Come along to staying today. That's what we want.
Absolutely legend.
That's right, baby.
Actually, and this one, I'm gutted for Ryan. If it's true, Ryan, yes, he can't play against Man City as well. Nico Williams can't play either as well. But if you look at Ryan, if people have seen Ryan Yates' interview, he took it on the chin and just said it is what it is. It's a footballer, and he had to take the yellow card. He had to take it.
No, he didn't.
He did.
We had him covered. Yes,
he did. Yes, Glenn, he had to take the yellow card, didn't it? You know that, and David, everyone was like, well done. Everyone applauded him for it. Everyone.
Oh, look, I can understand why he did, and I can completely rationalise that. And he was right to take the foul. Yeah. But he didn't have to take the foul.
Yes, he did. He had.
They weren't going to score.
That's a Ryan Yates thing, though. That's a Ryan Yates thing.
They didn't
listen to me, right? Listen, no, right. Again, you just been a Ryan Yates hater again. He had to do the yellow card. So stop with
saying that though. For every goal for every tackle he plays like that, right? There's a Clivert goal where a player runs right through the heart of our midfield and scores. And in hindsight, you go, yeah, you got to take a hit on the edge of the penalty area, edge of the centre circle.
I think it was right that he fouled him, but he didn't have to. The decision
that he made, he obviously made it knowing. And again, I'll say this: the character that he is, the club that he is, he took it for the team, knowing or potentially knowing that this would have a massive implications on his performance in the semi-final. He'll obviously be making sure that the rest of the team are getting everybody through to that final so he can play back again. But that's a true sign that whether he did or didn't, and from my view, you were right in front of it, Dave, obviously, but from my view, he was coming across the player to try and get in front of or just to slow him down and ended up tripping him up. I don't know if it was that much of a booking, but obviously in the position where it is, he's prevented a player from getting in a shooting position. So it has to be. But whether he had to or not, I'm not sure.
People, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Who was your standout player yesterday, David? Because I think there's quite a few for me yesterday. But people in the chat as well, who was your standout player yesterday? Because like I said, it's good to be like a final, but there's always going to be one or two players that will stick out for you. So we'll start with you, David. What players stood out for you yesterday?
Two for me really stood out. Let's start with Anderson. I just thought the way that basically all the play seemed to go through Anderson. The number of times he came back to pick up the ball and the way that he was playing through, and also his ball winning, just the creativity seemed to be just next level from him. And 120 minutes and also stepping up and taking that first penalty, a lot of pressure. But how can you go past the man in the sticks? Like, whilst he didn't have to make that many saves, there were two absolute cracking saves to keep us in that. And if either of those go in, you're not saying, that keeper error by any means. And I think he didn't. I think he won a whole bunch of new hearts and fans yesterday, Matt Sells, especially those two penalty saves. Like, the team just had this expectation that we would save ones, and you got to think, well, why were we confident going into the penalty shootout? And I was like, well, because our keeper's better than theirs. So they're the two for mine. Glenn, who are yours?
Yeah, I have two as well. Milinkovic and Anderson.
Yeah.
I think Milinkovic in just absolutely dominating performance. Just such a rock and solid player back there. Now, to caveat the previous question, and did Yates really need to make that booking, that foul, because he knew that Milinkovic was there and perhaps he would picked up? But regardless, he was just absolutely everywhere, heading, kicking, do absolutely everything that you need to do in that role to just keep the ball in our midfield and just played superbly well. I'm going to pick up another point about Anderson, though, that you were saying, David. It was absolutely phenomenal performance from him as well. The thing that really impressed me the most is what he does to not just with the ball when we don't have it and actually to regain possession. That's that really key things that he does there, where he was almost sitting in a mid three between the centre half. So he was sitting just behind Gibbs-White, almost back as a sweeper, if you like, just in front of that or between those two centre halves, and was picking up the ball really, really well, and just being that first element pivot, that deeper pivot that we've had there. The thing that the strength that he's got for me though is supporting particularly Gomez on that side where Williams was, and Williams would stand up that winger, prevent the winger from going any further, and then Elliott would just step in, little touch, tap the ball away, we get the ball back, and he plays on. He's just so good at just supporting those wing backs, particularly Williams. He does it more so on that right hand side in that first half, where he just gave us so much more just to prevent that attack, nick the ball off them, 2 passes, and we're out across the halfway line. And he just gives us so much strength at the back there defensively. So for me, Milinkovic, just his supreme performance in defence, and Elliot Anderson is a close second in terms of what he does to keep the ball, play the ball through, and also retrieve possession, which is such a difficult thing against teams like Brighton, who love to play it out wide and was forever passing it round and round and round, and he was just breaking down their attacks. And they hardly got anything. It's like, say, Sells had very little to do because he was breaking down their attacks mostly on that right hand side where Matoma was, and made a big difference there. So yeah, phenomenal performance from both of them.
I think I have to echo you as well, man. I think Anderson for me again. Like when he first signed for Nottingham Forest, I was like, "Who's this guy?" And he's just getting better and better and better for me. And it's his place. I think that's his place. That's his position now. I think we need someone who's very good alongside him. I always praise Ryan Yates, and I always love him and that. But I think if we got to improve next season, we need someone who can do the tackling, all that nonsense. Who is a good experienced player. But for me, Anderson, for me,
here's one for you, Ben. If you could clone either Gibbs-White or Elliot Anderson to play alongside Elliot Anderson, would you choose a second Elliot Anderson or a second Morgan Gibbs-White?
People in the chat, help me out.
So it's a weird question. It's like we're on Get Smart, Nude Bomb, where they're like cloning the Maxwell Smarts. Remember that movie? It's like we're cloning him. Who would you take alongside him? I thought
Gibbs-White. Yeah, I'll say another Gibbs-White.
So another player to play alongside Anderson. Another one of him.
Either a second Anderson or a Gibbs-White to play in that position. Who would you pick?
Gibbs-White. I'll say Gibbs-White, because I think Gibbs-White gives you that more. With Anderson, right? He's, like I said, I was looking at the comments. He was everywhere yesterday, everywhere, non-stop. But Gibbs-White's the best player for Forest, isn't he? So why not?
We can't even trap the ball on the sideline. It went under his foot.
Oh, no, that wasn't. No, that was no.
When you're watching football and you think to yourself, and you're watching it, and you just look at the skill level of these characters, and you think, how the hell do they do that? And then every so often there's a moment where you think, yep, that reminds me of me. That moment where Gibbs-White was absolutely exhausted. How tired must he have been after all that running? Like, he doesn't make those sort of errors. It was certainly late in the game. You can't hold it against him by any means. But now that we've established, I would have picked Anderson. I'd take 2 Andersons. What of the Ben? What of the Gibbs-White coming off?
I was surprised with that, to be fair. I was really surprised. But let me say something, right? I don't think he wasn't good the second half and extra time, if I'm honest.
He was knackered, wasn't he?
Yes. I don't think it, and was getting so close to penalties. I thought, why is he going off?
That's what players tired players miss penalties, Ben. Nico Williams was absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
And his body language, like poor Nico Williams was just having nightmares. They threw, was it Antoma or and then they're throwing a dinger and all this. They're just absolutely running at poor old Nico. And he was exhausted. So I thought you could tell. And I think that's why they took Gibbs White off, because he was exhausted.
He was really struggling to run off that knockers against where he slid in and hyperextended his knee against the goalpost as well, didn't he? He wasn't quite as free running as he was sort of that last the 20 minutes of extra time. The last 10 minutes, he was really struggling, whether it was the knee or not.
Hold on. However,
Sorry, Dave. Can I read Eve comment? Good evening, Mr. Douglas. Hope you're well. I'm so sorry we won yesterday. I'm just calling the joint at grounds. It should be completed in a few days. Eve, do all your join for us, man. Do a join for Nuno as well, if you can. But yeah, Eve, hope I see you soon as well. But yeah, sorry, David.
Well, just the miracle of Morgan Gibbs-White suddenly instantly recovering from his fatigue and his injury as Ryan Yates slotted the penalty in. So Morgan Gibbs-White was then sprinting towards the Nottingham Forest.
Try it, David. Listen to me, David. Don't even try it. If Morgan White was on the pitch, Yates still would have took the fifth penalty. So don't give me that nonsense. I'm just saying how good it was that he was instantly recovered from his injury. You know what it is, people? I don't know if people know. It's hurting David so bad to say something nice about Ryan Yates. People in the chat, can't you see his face? Look how red he's going. In the chat, he's like, oh, I've got to say something nice about Ryan Yates. He gave us that winner to send us to Wembley. Hey, David, just be honest. It's hurting you so bad, isn't it?
No, I like Ryan Yates, and I enjoy being wrong because it happens so infrequently.
David, your partner's right. Even I spoke to his partner after the game, and
he even put a comment in here saying that I've got to buy you a jersey.
9:11 p.m.
Where's that? Where's that?
You missed that one, didn't you?
No, I don't care. No, I don't believe it. It's hurting you so bad to say something nice about Yates, man. Just be honest. It's okay. It's Sunday night. It's okay to be honest, David. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right, people, please hit the like button, subscribe if you know. We're hearing about Chris Wood's not play. Well, might not be playing it against Man United, but let's talk about Taiwo because he's had so much pressure on him. And I might just ask you, Glenn, how did you think your thoughts were yesterday? And people in the chat, how do you feel about Taiwo's performance? He played, is it 60 minutes like he played yesterday? But Glenn, how do you think about Taiwo's performance yesterday?
Yeah, better than I've seen him play recently. Better than I saw him play at Luton. I wasn't at Exeter. I was pleased with the way he was work rate was definitely higher than I expected. Definitely more balls coming from him, particularly from goal kicks and clearances. Yeah, and just his back to his old self in terms of playing for the team, really standing up against that centre half, laying off to other players. Work rate was really good compared to the last, so he looks like he's a lot fitter, which, perhaps that was the reason why after 60 minutes he was done. Alanga came on and played up front, didn't he, for a while? But no, the work rate definitely up. I think the first half he had a couple of opportunities to give us a little bit more in front of goal, and perhaps a Taiwo of 18 months ago, perhaps prior to the previous injury, he may well have slotted that over, but he was definitely getting towards fitness, and depending on how long Woods is out for, I think he's definitely a player that can give us something else and defence us something else to think about. But no, he's not necessarily quite there yet, but he's on the way towards it. And as long as he stays as fit as he is and as sharp as he is, I think that confidence will come as he gets a little bit more in front of goal. I did see in a few comments before kickoff, though, and did see that they were, look out for the comments about how much he's, not done very much because he's not getting service. And he was getting a few balls coming through. There was a lot of stuff coming over from crosses, which isn't necessarily his cup of tea. But the way that the midfield is working through and giving him a few chances, slot balls through, he looked like he was ready to step up a little bit more. I think the hour was enough for him. I think they anticipate Wood being out perhaps for a little bit longer. I've heard some say he's out for the season, which I really, really do hope that's not the case. Obviously, with 9 games plus the semi-final and final, there's lots of opportunity for him to get back. But Alanga is an alternative there. But I am happy that Taiwo is moving back towards the player that we saw. He's just not quite got that cutting edge, but he's on the way. So he's definitely a player that will give us, I said, defenses a little bit more to think about. And he's a different sort of player that we've got up front, very different to Taiwo, very different to, Alanga, and very different to Wood in that respect. So
David,
a squad player through there, but he's not the player I'm holding all my hope on. I think there's other options instead of him beyond the hour mark, perhaps for the short term.
David, would you start him against Man U?
I think he was brought off after 60 minutes so that he could start against Manchester United, Ben. Taiwo doesn't have the aerial presence that Chris Wood has, but he has a physical presence. Like when you watch the team warm up, Taiwo is just a physical specimen. Like there's no one else in the Forest squad. Maybe Milenkovic from a physical, impressive, stature and body makeup can challenge Taiwo. I thought he had quite a good game with the limited chances, and I see in the comments above, Taiwo would have been in a better opportunity to score if he'd have been on the field the same time as Anthony Alanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi. But as we've established with Forest this season in the FA Cup, these matches are frequently 120-minute matches, and Forest were very good at a 120-minute match for 110 minutes yesterday. And so I think he's just coming off of that. And I'd probably persist with Anthony Alanga as a striker or a second option. He's just so fast.
He is,
and he did have that chance, down the left-hand side in the second half with the one-on-one, which was from the side. So I think we have enough stocks in Anthony Alanga and Taiwo Awoniyi. Let's not forget how good peak Taiwo can be, and how good peak Taiwo as we head towards the warmer months in the UK. Yeah. Those last couple of matches, he can hit peak form, and if he is playing 60 minutes per game, there's no reason Taiwo can't get 5 goals in 5 games or go on a run towards the end of the season. And if Wood is out, this is the problem I look forward to us talking about in the transfer window. Who starts between Taiwo and Chris Wood? That could be a conversation we have in the off-season. Yeah. And then who fits in with the 3? And look, if we're playing Champions League, we're going to need 3 strikers. Definitely. And Taiwo Awoniyi is a far stronger option as a third-choice striker for this Nottingham Forest team than anyone else. So let's get behind him. Oh, here's my last point on Taiwo. I'm so impressed with the Nottingham Forest fans' ability to understand the pressure that he is under. And so whilst you might say Taiwo is under pressure, the fans are not. Goodness me, the Taiwo Awoniyi chant and the way the Forest fans and the intellectual knowledge of the Forest fans knowing when their team needs them and what they're doing for Taiwo are just hats off to the Forest fans. It is just something to be really proud of as us as a group, I think.
Yeah. Definitely. Glenn, you want to say anything, Glenn? Before you say something?
No, I couldn't agree that more. The number of fans that would get on the back of players that aren't necessarily playing at the standard they've been before.
Not us. It's the opposite, Glenn.
Not at all. Not at all. Certainly not in my experience of being in the ground. Absolutely not. I don't look at the opinions of others online. So in terms of the way that we support players who we want to be better and offer more, that's the best way of doing it. Really cheer them up on the sing their name on the terraces. That's the way to do it for me.
Like you that, and I 100% agree with what you're saying, David. Because in the past, like I said, there's always going to be a scapegoat, if you want to say it. But now, because we're third in the league, we're semi-final of the FA Cup, going to Wembley. Like I said, you're always going to have that 2%. We're going to say, "Oh, that player's rubbish," la 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 la. But it's good to hear, and like yesterday at the game as well. The atmosphere was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I thought, well, I'm bang in the middle of it as well, and it's. I don't know.
Go watch the video of Dore's reaction to the Yate penalty going in. It's as good a Dore crying when something good happens. But no, we all know the sound that we're going to get from Dore. We know.
No, you know what it's doing. No, it's not because, like I said, I like Yates, but. Like right now, it just feels like, and people in the comments might agree. It's not. It's like I'm dreaming. It's not. This is not happening. Like it's not real. Do you know what I mean? After what's happened in the last 2 years, and now We're in a
It's
semi-final.
like you booted up your championship manager game, Ben.
Yeah.
Taking control of Forest since
Right,
Steve
no, it is.
Cooper was at the
I was-
bottom.
I was
And now
watching-
you've got us in the Champions League.
No, it is because I was watching the FA Cup draw. I'm thinking to myself, like, when's the last time we looked at like a semi-final draw? I'm thinking, our club's there, and we're playing against brilliant Man City now at Wembley.
Yeah.
I'm like, I said to my friend Arsenal fan, and he said to me, Ben, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I need to go out the door. Just think about 5 minutes. I think that's my club. We're there, and we're third place. And he's an Arsenal fan. I'm like, but we're chasing you as well for second spot. That is it's mind-boggling. Is that how you feeling, Glenn? When you go into school and all, you work with children and like kids and that.
Yeah, I was 15 in 16 in 91. Remember that victory against West Ham?
Yeah.
You know, and it's all those years, 25, 26 years now, and that it's coming back again. You can argue whether it's the right place to have it at Wembley, but based on the reaction of all the Forest fans yesterday, none of them care. They just want to go and watch our team in the FA Cup semi-final for the first time in a whole generation. And there will be players that have never been to Wembley playing from our club that have come in recently, and fans that have never been to Wembley with their families. And it's going to be a fantastic day. It's going to be an amazing day.
Because we're going to game, me, Glenn, Des, and Ian was going to the game, and at the train station, and like it felt like a European tour. Like we were singing, and it was amazing.
Incredible.
And from like going to like I've not been on train like a tube for a while to the game, and that atmosphere was just amazing. And like after the game, where's the last time I've stayed at the ground? How long was we there for? Like 45 minutes?
Can I just say, Ben Dore does not ever drink beer at the matches. He was offered a beer yesterday, and I could see you looking at it going,
thought about it for a second, didn't you?
You actually dead set, didn't you, Ben? You thought about it. It's the only time I've ever seen you actually think about it for a second, because you were probably thinking, wow, if I'm ever going to have a beer at Nottingham Forest match, post this moment, maybe is the time to have done it, Ben.
David, and if I took that, I wouldn't be doing the stream. I would have a headache for 2 days. So I'm so happy I declined. So but thank you very much. Was it your mate you offered me?
It was my mate.
It was your mate. Thank you very much for offering me, but I had to decline because I don't drink. I'm a lightweight, and everyone knows if I drink one or two, I'll fall on the floor. But thank you. If I see him, David, last game, whenever we make Champions League officially make Champions League, I'll take it from him. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, sounds good.
Or we win the FA Cup final. I'll take it.
Well, if we win the FA Cup final, that will be the last match of the season, isn't it?
No.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not anymore, is it? It's the second last. Yeah,
yes. But yeah. But people, please do hit like.
Can you imagine, Ben? The Champions League is confirmed.
Oh, here we go.
And we've won the FA Cup, and therefore that last match.
Not another one.
Can you imagine the Waka Waka if that is?
No, what? There's another song. Waka Waka Premier League 4. People in the chat. Someone in the chat will know.
There's a new version of the Waka song, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a new tune. Waka Waka Premier League 4. With the relegation something.
Yeah. It's about. I can't remember the words either. I'm afraid. It's about relegation, and now that we're on the Champions League and the flip of that, it's exactly the same as the 30 signings, isn't it?
Someone in the chat will know. In the chat, if you know it, say it. Dave can sing it because it's like I said. That's why, and it's weird because when we come back to Premier League, Glenn, did you go to Chris passed away last game?
Oh, of course I did, mate. Phenomenal.
That's the best atmosphere I've ever witnessed.
Every Palace fan that I know went to that game. They didn't watch the game either. They just watched this party. It was amazing.
Did you take Chris passed away? It was the best. Absolutely amazing. But when we officially make Champions League, I think it's going to be much better than that. Maybe West Ham away.
I don't know. I think making the Champions League is an achievement. Surviving the relegation was a relief. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah.
Relief versus celebration. So I'm not sure that can ever be recreated because just how important surviving that first season relegation was, because we all knew in our heart of hearts that there was a little bit of something in this club that could maybe get us back up to the promised land. And if we're not in the Premier League, you can't get to the promised land. And now we're going to get to the promised land. So, but they're all great moments.
Right,
but yeah,
let's calm down. We've not officially made it yet. Let's just take it a little bit, because till it's then, I don't want to imagine flopping it, and I'm like, I'll be like, would I be disappointed? No, but it is what
well,
it
if
is.
we bottle it from here for the Champions League.
Yeah, but would you be disappointed? People in the chat, would you be
Yeah.
disappointed if we bottled it and got Europa football? I don't think I would. Well, would I be? I don't know. Would you, David or Glenn? Any of you? Would you be disappointed?
I'd be disappointed, but it would last about as long as it takes for me to say disappointed, and then I would reflect on a season where we got to Wembley in a FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah,
where we've won more games in a season than we have in probably 2 seasons put together. And I'd reflect on the fact that we are in a position way, way above even, and I know our good friend Max, who was predicting 12th, and people were ridiculing how much further up the league we will eventually finish.
He did predict
I do
12th.
hope we go Champions League and we get to Europe, etc.
Shout out to Max.
Wherever we finish, top half, if that's where it is, if the wheels do fall off and the goals dry up, which I don't think they will, and the defence starts to leak, which I don't think it will, and I'm not going to go any further about Sells, but I think there will be a catastrophic. There needs to be a series of catastrophic things happening for us not to be in the running for European place in the next, 10, 11 weeks. But wherever we finish, the experience of this year has just been absolutely unforgettable, hasn't it?
Bonkers.
It's just been so unbelievable.
Yeah.
The experience, the wins we've scored, the games we've won, the goals we've scored, the team we've put together is just in such a great position. And of all of those teams that came up, Bournemouth and Fulham and us, we seem to be the one that's holding on to those strengths players. Bournemouth at the moment seems to be that team that is being plucked, and the other Premier League teams will pluck that team to death. But we've got a team that is strong and bonded, and is only now going to be developed and improved. And wherever we finish, we're going to be in a really much better position next season than any of those other teams in those relegation issues last year, or the teams that came up 2 seasons ago. So yeah, it's only rosy for me, regardless.
Martin says, if we do make Champions League, we need the bloody speakers at the City Ground. Yes, 100%. I'm sorry. I was going to do one of my members. Comment, I hope you're well. Hey, Dog, great result yesterday. Did it back, felt like a lifetime, but worth it. Hopefully, Wood isn't out for the last part of his life. I hope he isn't. I hope he's and like even Chris Ward 2 seasons ago when we signed him, and like I was himself, I thought, why are we getting this guy? Why are we getting this guy? I know Glenn thought he was. I'm not sure. Glenn thought
I knew he was going to come good. I knew he was going to score for us.
I don't know, Ben.
No, you didn't.
Got the receipts. Yeah, I said Chris Wood. It's a New Zealander. Why am I about Australia now?
Okay.
Can I go back to
Chris Wood will come good, and he did. So hats up for these two. Hats up to everyone who was on.
Ben, can I go back to that previous point though, Ben?
Yeah, go on.
Would you be disappointed or not? I would be shattered and pretty disappointed if we didn't make the Champions League from here. And the reason why is we're in such a strong position to make the Champions League. It would be a monumental balls up failure for us to fail from here. It would mean 5 players got injured towards the end of the season. Somehow Nuno falls out with the dressing room. Whole bunch of players are injured. It would just be pretty heartbreaking for Forest to not make it from here. As we said on that video, the one that went out on Friday, we think 68 points is going to be enough. That's 4 wins, 2 draws out of the remaining 9. It's an assignment that Forest, even, that's an assignment that the promotion of the relegation saving team was able to hit to survive relegation. And this team is outrageously more successful and stronger than that one. So would I be disappointed? Yeah, I'd be shattered, actually, because here's another point. If we don't get the Champions League this season, when will we? And how will we?
You know what?
And how would we recover? Like, wouldn't we then lose a Morgan Gibbs, White and Murillo? We have to make the Champions League, and we are going to make the Champions League.
We are going to make. You know what?
We are going to make it.
You know what it is? So sorry to be David. I've been. You know when you hear people saying, like, especially the top six people saying, "Oh, Forest going to fall down next season." How do they know? How do they know it's going to be a one-seeded wonder? Newcastle haven't done it. Aston Villa haven't done it. I think it's Aston Villa's second season. They've done well. Newcastle have done well as well. And then people like this message as well. Marnakis hates to lose. He hates to lose, and he wants to build Forest. I think he's ahead of us. I think he's ahead of where he is right now. If I'm honest, but with third place and these 9 games for me is all cup finals, and there's no easy games at all. There's no easy games at all. So
we have the easiest draw, Ben. You're right. There's no easy games, but we've got 2 top 10 teams left in our remaining 9 games. That is the fewest of all of the top 10 teams.
Villa and who?
Villa and Chelsea. Yeah, it's there for the taking. Like, it's there for like not just like struggling through to jag 4th or 5th and hoping 5th place on the coefficient. We can take 3rd. Let's go.
Steve, can we get Alan Podger on here at some point? You know what, Steve? It's not just him. There's been loads of people who said that Force will fall out as well. So, listen, we're 3rd place. And like the man says, Des Oldham says, just enjoy it. And we are enjoying it. Everyone's enjoying it. And like yesterday after the game, we were singing the songs and everyone's going crazy. And I'm loving it. But it hasn't sunk in. Yeah, it's not sunken in. That's my problem. I'm saying it's not sunk in yet, but here's what it is. Right, we have a little bit on about the Man U game as well, because like I said, I might do a podcast tomorrow. Yes, I don't know if I will. Glenn, how are you feeling about the Man U game on Tuesday? People in the chat as well, get involved. They've had 2 weeks off. They're going to be fresh, but their form's not been great, and we can't like say, "Oh, man, he's going to do us over." But I feel the energy now we are in. We're going to Wembley. I feel the players going to be confident with this, and like, yes, we can say about Chris was not playing, Taiwo doesn't start, but how are you feeling about Tuesday?
I'm feeling positive. I think it's positivity on a number of levels in terms of the team are going to be hugely buoyed up by this weekend. They're going to be ready to try and get back into the groove of playing on our pitch against teams that we've beaten at our place, home and away. The last season and a half, we've always done well against Man United, the exception of the cup games when Paul Worrell, bless him, was against Rashford. Since then, we've really competed against them. And I think it's a position where we can go on and get at least a point or 3 on Tuesday night. The next thing I'm positive about is the fact that we've got players who are fit and have played against them in the last 6 months at their place, and we know how to play against them. Yes, okay, concerned about Wood, but I think Alanga's got a massive point to prove against that team again. Still, he's going to be going back and trying to get himself in a position where he's going to be scoring against their fans at the Bridgeford end. And thirdly, the positive thing is it's not a must-win game. It doesn't really feature in those. Yes, it would be fantastic when we pick one of those, like you said, David, one of those 4 wins up on Tuesday night and get the ball rolling again towards the 60-point mark. But it's not essential that we win on Tuesday. A good performance, keeping them out, Sells on fire. The back 4 or 5, I've heard some say that it may well be a 5 against them. Functioning, keeping them at bay, hitting them on the attack. Who knows? Second half, getting those, getting that 1 or 2 goals. Perhaps I think it'll be a narrow game, narrow victory if it is. I don't think it'll be a big scoreline. But a team that are, like you said, struggling, low in confidence in Man United, coming to the City Ground, it's going to be absolutely rocking. And yeah, my only comments about the negative points are: we'll be tired, and how quickly can we recover? Will it be that we're ready for the first hour, and the last 30-40 minutes becomes a real challenge? In which case, the strength in our and depth in our bench, bringing on Sousa, bringing on Jota, bringing on players, they're going to Danilo, I don't think will start, but having that feature in midfield and just really solid in that midfield. I think the only outcome is that we'll get a point at least. I do hope we'll get 3, but I'm really confident about Tuesday night. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you echo what he says, David?
I think we might see some squad rotation on Tuesday, Ben. I think Sangare and Murato might feature. If I was,
You know what? In my head, I was just thinking about Sangare because this is what I'm trying to say, David. Right? We all Sangare cost 35 million. He's come from injury, same time as Danilo, but he's not started yet. And is he going to start?
But a Manchester United team that's not performing to the standards that they might have typically expected for Sangare to go in and put in a performance against them and dominate a weaker opposition than perhaps you might expect. I think we'll see him play. Now, let's also not forget Taiwo played 60 minutes and Alanga, he did proud of thing, didn't he? Yeah, Alanga also played 60 minutes and Hudson-Odoi played 60 minutes. So those 3 should be able to go and start without any trouble. It's the rest of that engine room in the middle that we might struggle with Anderson and Gibbs White. They are going to be absolutely exhausted. But let's not forget, these are 2 young central midfield players at the absolute peak of their powers in life. So I think you can expect maybe those both to play, and then, or maybe we're playing a 3 in the centre. Tough to say, but maybe Murato comes in, and maybe Alex Marino also gets a run. Tough to say. It's a squad game.
You can't drop Williams. You can't drop Williams.
But it's not dropping Williams, Ben.
No,
it's
not
resting.
Williams. It's just rotating. It's rotating. I get it.
It's rotating. Like, he played 120 minutes. The guy could hardly move by the end of that 120 minutes. Like, he didn't miss the penalty because he doesn't know how to kick a penalty. He didn't miss the penalty because he can't strike a ball. He missed the penalty because he is exhausted. And that's the beauty of the pressure of penalties, is that you're asking players to undertake activities, a pretty standard skill for them, when they're mentally fatigued and emotionally exhausted and just, quite frankly, knackered. So, but Aina is also equally so.
That's the thing. And that's what I'm saying.
Toffolo and Marino was on the weekend, perhaps, but on Tuesday, perhaps. But I doubt it. I think one of Aina.
I love Toffolo to start. I think we know that Williams and Marino are ahead of him, but wouldn't it be good to Toffolo get 5 minutes for the fans' sake? Because I think everyone's. I don't know if you can hear it from the waist section, David. We sound some Toffolo songs. It's.
Oh, you can always hear the Toffolo songs.
Yeah, he's amazing. It'd be nice. If we win 3-0 or 4-0, then bring him on. Bring him on.
Well, he's going to be playing the last game of the season when we've already qualified for the Champions League and we were FA Cup winners. So we expect to see him and Willy Bolly. And look, I look forward to seeing Wayne Hennessy start as striker in the last match of the season. We're really content.
Wait, no, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Oh, bloody hell. Even, who else doesn't play for Forest? He's not been playing. Danilo. Willy Bolly as well. Even Bolly can
Pereira.
Yeah, bloody hell. We've got a strong side, haven't we? We've got a strong side, man. Before we do, I'm going to get everyone's score predictions, people. Before, like I said, please do hit the like button if you can, subscribe if you're new. And if you've not seen the vlog, go and watch the vlog after the stream. It'll be helping me a lot as well. You know what? Quick question, right? I've not mentioned that. I've written it on my notes. Can we win the FA Cup? People in the chat, can we win the FA Cup? Yes or no? Glenn, can we do it? Yes or no?
We can do it, but I'm taking a leaf out of Nuno's book and saying we can beat Man City. We can beat Man United next week. We can beat Man City at Wembley, and we can get to the final. Who we play it against that, because it's still not decided. I'm super hopeful, always half full. I'm saying we can get to the final. Yes. Can we win the final? Ask me in a week or two.
Okay, I'll ask you. People clip this, please. I'll forget. David, can we win FA Cup?
Here's a different way of looking at it. If I was to say to you at the start of the season, how many simulations of the FA Cup do we need to run to win? You might have said 60, 70 simulations of the FA Cup this season, and we might win one. I'd say now if we run the simulation 5 times, we would win at least once, maybe twice. We're definitely in it. We've got no reason to fear Manchester City. It's going to be a big day out for our fans. We're going to be loud and proud, and for them, it's just going to be another moment for them in a big stadium in an otherwise pretty disappointing season. It's a big game, Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. That is going to be the one that's going to have all the news. And the other cool thing, I guess, for us is when we play Manchester City, the entire league, everyone's going to want us to win that match. We will have the positive sentiment, the positive everything will be going for us. So, look, here's the other thing, Ben. We know that when I watch Forest live, they typically win.
Here we go.
So I'm going to have to try and get back 8 from 9. There's no lie.
Numbers don't lie. I know. People. Which one? You trying to get to the semi-final?
I am, yes.
Let's pray he doesn't. Let's pray. No, let's pray he does.
He does. I've got a connection with a mate who's a member of Wembley, so I think we might be good actually. So.
Posh friend. You want to get you one of them? Oh, posh friend.
My lovely girlfriend's friend, actually. So shout out to you, Anthony, if you ever watch this. You are an absolute legend.
Oh God, mate, dude. But yeah, can we win the FA Cup?
Of course we can win. Come on, Ben.
I'm doing it. No, I think we'll beat Man City, and then we'll get Villa in the final. I think the Forest Villa final it'll be great because they've got great history. We got great history.
We've got to play them at Villa Park as well this season.
We'll beat them.
So that's the third top 10 team.
You know what? I've been to Villa times 4 or 5 times and I've not won. So this could be the time we could beat Aston Villa. But I'll be happy with a draw there.
Palace would be good.
Huh?
Palace would also be a spectacle.
Palace was always a great final.
Yeah,
They
great result against Fulham. Sorry, Alan. I had to rub it in. Glenn, he wasn't happy with me this morning.
He wasn't happy with us yesterday, was he?
He wasn't happy with yesterday, and he wasn't happy this morning. I did rub it in, and sorry, Alan. I had to say something to you, but I'm not. We're in the final, you're not, but yeah. Right, people. It's been a great show. Again, before we do, Pete Welsh says, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're in the final, people. I'm excited. Yeah, he hasn't. I think he won't sink in yet. He won't sink in till Tuesday after the Man U game, for me personally. But David, it was great to see you yesterday.
See you on Tuesday at the game.
Yeah, I'll see you Tuesday as well.
Next Tuesday.
We've got to win. Glenn, it was nice seeing you yesterday as well.
Always a pleasure. Good to see you,
pleasure. People, if you are rewatching this, get in the comment section now. Make sure you do watch the vlog as well.
And let us know in the comments that I don't have to buy Ben a shirt until Yate gets his 5th goal, which will be in the FA Cup final.
No. He's going to score against Man U. Watch him score.
He's going to get his first Premier League goal at the City Ground on Tuesday night.
Oh, he's not. Oh, he almost had one, didn't he? Who was it against? But it was offside. I don't know who it was. But I'm praying. If he scores up against Man U, I am going straight to find you.
You'll be straight to the club shop after the game, David.
Straight to the club
I will
shop.
drag you by your. See here. I'm dragging it to the ground. So I don't care. We've got Ryan Yates, number five. But yeah, people.
Yes. Yates 5. That would be so brilliant if you're walking around with a Yates 5 shirt and everyone's saying to you, "Why have you got a Yates 5 shirt?" Well, I'll let you know. Maybe that needs to be my punishment, is that I need a Yates 5 shirt.
Yeah, people. Are you doing any shows this week, David, for Max?
Not as far as I know. Max has been a bit sick, actually, on the Garibaldi Red podcast, so he'll be out with one soon. But no, I haven't got the call up yet. But I'm sure he'll get me on soon. Max,
get the call up. He's ready. He's in the UK, so get the call up. But I hope Max as well. But people, we get going. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Dave, for coming on the show. People, Wembley soon. Man United on Tuesday. So much content coming from my channel. I'm excited. I don't know. I don't know what to do with myself, but it will come down to me soon. I don't know what to do. People in the chat, what should I do? What should I give a little walk, something like that? But it will do. But people, thank you everyone. Peace and love. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. I might do a show tomorrow. Peace and love. Up the bloody forest.